Hello again, my friends all over the world, wherever you are. William Poloniak here at Whole Health Foundation in sunny Southern California. Today I'm going to make another very simple juice with beets and carrots, but this time I'm going to add dandelion greens and French sorrel. Let's take a look at the rest of my ingredients. As I said, in addition to the carrots and the beets, I'm adding French sorrel, dandelion greens, but also freshly picked garlic from my garden, ginger, and 150 grams of turmeric. So let's make some juice, and I'm going to start with my greens. Right, today I'm going to use the 6-blade near zero blowback cutter. And the front-loading feed tube. The first thing I'm going to do is plug in my thermometer and put in 3 ice cubes to cool down the cutter and the feed tube. I'm going to start with my greens and do my French sorrel first. I want to point out that when I'm using the near zero blowback cutter, it does such a good job on greens that you don't need to use the J grid. You can use the 1/8 inch hole number 2 grid, which does a better job shredding, as well as the cutter doing a better job shredding. So let's continue with more dandelion. Now, because the greens are very fibrous, you want to clean your grid more frequently. That'll put less strain on the motor. And we'll continue. Put in a couple of 3 ice cubes. And here's the last of my dandelion. Next I'm going to do my garlic. Are very, very fibrous, so I'm going to add 3 ice cubes. And because they're very fibrous, I'm going to clean my grid one more time. Whenever you do greens, clean your grid often. And next, my beets. Now, beets are also very, very fibrous, especially the top, so I'm going to clean my grid again. And notice how I use my finger to scrape off the pulp from my knife. And you want to clean your grid on both sides. And we'll continue with the beets. Tops and all. Next I'm going to clean my grid and then do the rest of my French sorrel. You notice how I hold the grid in the palm of my hand, not like this. And you're not slicing, you're scraping. And just use your finger to get the pulp off your knife. And we'll continue with a few more ice cubes to clear the chute, and then French sorrel. Next we'll clean my grid, reassemble, and continue. And we'll continue with carrots. And we have small carrots, so we can put several at a time. Now here's the last of my carrots. Now, one of the beautiful things about the front-loading feed tube is you can see in here if there's any produce that's not shred And that enables you to put some pulp in and force the last plug of produce through. The next step, as always, is to mix your produce. You want to mix your carrots and your greens thoroughly. Carrots with greens mix will not stick to your cloth, but greens by themselves will stick to the cloth. So we want a thorough mix, and rotating the bowl in both directions is the best way to do that. And I've often had people say, "Why do you wear gloves?" Well, my hands are never clean enough, and you can also use your gloves like I'm doing here to even out and use it as a spatula. Now I'm going to take my first 2 cloves full of pulp and put it into the juicing tray, centered left to right, centered front to back, and adjust it if need be all the way back. Back it off a little bit and turn on the machine. Continue filling cloths. Now I'm going to demonstrate my 6 cloth less work method. And if you observe closely, there's a rhythm to my procedure here. Tight a package as you can make it, set it aside. 3 scoops of pulp. And you fold it in thirds like they came packaged. A little crease at the back, and watch my folding technique. You grab this with your fingers and tuck it under into a tight package and continue. You might advance that a little bit. There are 2 ways to do the less work 6 cloth method. One, you never throw the pulp away. Put it in the puddle of juice to absorb that juice, because as you can see it's puddling here. And we'll go ahead with 3 more scoops. The next less work 6 cloth method, again, you don't throw away your pulp. What I'm going to do is put 2 scoops, not 3, because this patty's getting thicker and thicker, and later on we'll put only 1 scoop. And when you're on your last cloth, advance that all the way. Nice tight package, flatten it. This goes forward, that goes over, the spent cloths go on top. 2 more cloths in the tray, centered left to right, make sure it's on there securely, centered front to back, all the way back it off. Because I've got puddling here, I'm going to hold this with my thumb and very, very carefully pour this in. And as I've mentioned before, the first time I did that, I got it all over the countertop and all over the floor. You have to be very, very careful. So I noticed that I've got some puddling in here. But on this first cloth, I'm going to put in 2 scoops. A little crease here. Flatten that, set it aside. This time I'm going to take the pulp and put it in the puddle in the collection bowl. Crush it up, put it in the puddle to absorb all that juice. Let's mix that up a little bit. And then we'll put 3 scoops in this cloth, and that's it all the way. Now watch again. This goes forward, that goes over, the spent cloths go on top. And it looks like my bowl is full. So what I'm going to do before I press more juice is I'm going to put this into bottles. And I'm filling this from the back side so that the camera gets a good angle. And notice I'm leaving about 10% for adding some filtered or distilled water. I use distilled water because I have a water distiller. So let's make more juice. Now I'm going to go more quickly this time so you can see the rhythm. At first you're not going to be able to go this fast, but with practice it'll be very, very easy. That's that all the way. Flatten that. This goes forward, that goes over. The spent cloths go on top. Centered left to right, centered front to back, all the way back it off a little bit. And again, 2 scoops. Now this patty is getting very thick, so next time I'm going to put only 1 scoop on top. And so far we have about almost 10 bottles. And we'll make some more juice as soon as we're done pouring this. All the way back, back it off a little bit. And with these spent cloths, what I'm going to do now to demonstrate how we get 10% more juice using a Whole Health Foundation model juicer, I'm going to form the spent pulp into a tight package and press it again. Now watch my folding technique. I'm going to fold this under 2 or 3 or 4, as many times as I can, and this is going to minimize slippage. You notice how I have a very tight package. We'll flatten that, advance that all the way, continue repackaging the spent pulp. Now as you can see, I have 3 double packets of repackaged pulp. This is pulp that's already been pressed. So I'm going to put this in the tray and show you how the Whole Health Foundation model juicer can get over 10% more juice. And I'm using a measuring beaker to show how much more juice we get. So we'll put this all the way back. As soon as I get juice flow and traction, I'm going to back that off. There we go, back that off a little bit. Very important that you don't want this to go up too fast. You don't want it to slip. Well, there we have 16 ounces and 2 more packets to go. Let's get these last 2 packages in the tray. Centered. Left to right. Front to back. Very important to be right in the center. All the way back. I'm going to back it off just a tiny bit until I get some juice flow here. There we go. And then advance it a little bit more. And then all the way. Well, there's 18 ounces, and I know I can get more, but my container's full. So I'm going to stop this, and I'm going to pour this into the collection container and fill more bottles. Looks like we have 12 bottles, plus enough for a taste test. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to top this off with the distilled water, cap it, and we'll go ahead and do a taste test. Well, my friends, as you can see, I have 5, 10, 12 bottles, and about 1.5 or more of these bottles was from pressing the already spent pulp using the Whole Health Foundation Premium Juicer. Plus we have enough for a taste test. So let's do a taste test. Well, my friends, here we have another juice with mainly carrot and beet. Plus, this time I put in dandelion greens, which tend to make your juice bitter because of the minerals in the dandelion, and French sorrel, which sweetens up a juice. So let's see what it tastes like. Oh, very good. I can definitely taste the dandelion in there, but the French sorrel does definitely make it very, very sweet. Well, I hope you like what you've seen. If you do, please tell a friend. And if you'd like to call me, my phone number is 760-753-0321. My email address is developtrust@cox.net, and my webpage is wholehealthfound.com. See you in the next video.